Hello again, it's Priscilla Batzell. I'm in Spring Hill, Florida at Expressionist Colour Arte Studio. I have a container I have not actually broken in that I'm going to add paint to make a shovel pour on a 16 by 20 inch canvas that's over there. And these are my scoops. I made these. This came off half a pen, the covering of a pen container like Sharpies or something. This was just cut up and glued together. Not very well actually. But you can make these scoops out of almost anything. But generally speaking, I like the shovels best, at least to start with, from the dollar store. They come with a bucket. It's summer. It's a good time to get them. So I don't really want any paint chips in here because it'll make getting paint off the bottom really tough. And I just put a hole in my plastic. Okay, well at least I got the paint chip. I think it'll be alright. I'm going to use some Frosted, which is a Prizm pour, as a base layer, so I can add colors on top of it. It looks so thick that I could probably add a little distilled water to that without doing it any harm at all. As long as you keep it under 25%, you won't destroy the polymer bond. So I'm going to keep that handy because I might want some more, and I'm going to just start with colors that I love, which in this case is going to be Wild Orchid, which I did add a little bit of water to when it seemed very thick. And I'm going to put my colors down in blocks. I don't know how to explain that. Chunks. Chunks is a better word. That was Wild Orchid Prizm pour. This is Chantilly Lace, another Prizm pour. And those are things I'm going to come back to probably. Here's a little bit of Mayan Gold. I wish I'd had thinned the frosted beforehand, that way it would have spread out across the bottom. This is Royal Sapphire, and I don't mind the color of the frosted. If it shows up in between, that's just fine by me. I kind of feel like if I squeeze the colors onto the colors that are already there, it'll help spread out. This is Fandango, another Prizm pour, as is the Royal Sapphire, if I didn't say so. I wanted like large areas, large swaths of color, and I'm getting an interesting combination and I like it. This is Cerulaen Blue, another Prizm pour, which I love with both the Royal Sapphire and the Fandango. Trying not to cover anything up because I can always add colors on top. This is Indigo Violet. I took like 15 minutes and cleared my tips this time before I started. And if I get to a certain point where I like what I have enough, I'll just stop adding colors. This is Burmese Red, and it's a primary element, I believe. I might want some of that in the Indigo Violet. I have a few purples I haven't added yet. This was what I originally started with. I wanted to use this Mystique primary element as the turquoise, but I decided that I really love the Royal Sapphire. This one is one of the few bottles that I don't think I checked thoroughly, so it's squeezing out kind of tough. I'm going to put that one back, and this one, because I'm going to have to take these bottles out of here in a second. This is my Jasmine. It's a primary element. Jasmine saves the day, I'm always saying. And I love it, love it, love it with the Royal Sapphire. So put a little bit of that over there. Now I didn't plan on using any of this wintergreen, but I want to see what the wintergreen near the Fandango and Cerulaen Blue does, and I kind of like it. I may use or may not use more of that. I don't use enough of this Maimi Magenta. It's really bright and outstanding and adds a lot of flash that I really appreciate. And you can see it next to the Jasmine. It's a great combination. And what that does is make me want some of this Orange Crush. And I should have added some more frosted, I think. But I'll just put that over there. I've got Cupid's Crush, which is a primary element, which is a gorgeous red. Somewhere right between the Miami Magenta and the Jasmine. I'm not sure if I have enough paint or not, and I have only one more color to add if I want to. But I did hold on to some white. And I want to put a few colors out of my way right now while I can. But I'm going to leave that Chantilly lace. And I'll have to reorganize my colors later. Oh, I didn't use any of the Red Violet Vivid Intense, which is a wonderful color, but it reminds me an awful lot of the Wild Orchid. But I can see right now it's a lot lighter, so that's just perfect. Now it doesn't take an insignificant amount of time to set this up. Why is that not flowing more easily? Probably because there's a marble in the tip. One more little dollop. I'd like to design some of my own bottles. I wish somebody was listening who could help me. I'm going to use a little bit more gold, Mayan gold. I do like also Indian spice for a gold choice. And I have another one, a Bling It, with golden maple and something else. So last but not least is the Crabapple, which I believe is a primary element. Wow. Which has a ring right around the inside of it. I may not be able to get that out of there. I got the ring out. Cool. I've been having a hard time squeezing it out when I go to use it, because it's a stiff little bottle. Come on out. I know you're in there. You can't be... Oh, come on. There we go. Wow, is that thick? That needs to be thinned, for sure. But the shovel will take care of most of that. I'm thinking before I continue, even though this is a long process, that I'm going to add a little bit more Chantilly lace. And I've got a great pen of colors, and hopefully that will equal to something interesting coming about. I'm going to put those right over here. This is my 16 by 20 inch canvas. If we run out of time, and I didn't set the timer, oh boy. Okay, so what's going to happen is I'm going to stop the camera and come back so that I don't lose you. See you in a second. Alright, I'm back. When the timer goes off, we'll still have a few minutes left. I'm going to start with my shovel. These are awesome colors. Let's see how well we can do with them. I might want to swivel some things around. I might want to just pick up my container and scoop. You really should knock the paint right off the bottom. Not my favorite color combination there, but time to grab some of this cerulean blue. See if I can change up my combination to like it a little better. In this case, I'm dragging right through it, which is unusual. At a certain point in time, I want to try some of my other scoops, but right now kind of missing yellow. I think I wanted to use some sour lemon with orange crush in it and forgot. But fortunately, I can stop and add that. And I'm going to right now. Scrape my bottom off. Seldom if ever cross over. I may want to fill in with a stick. I thought about it, and I've got some tongue depressors ready. Looks like I've got some bubbles I'm going to have to use. I might want to stop earlier than I even think. I do try occasionally to change up my designs. And this one's coming out definitely different than most of any of the others I've seen, so I guess that's a sort of success. Oh, that's pretty. I got something nice. I'm not sure why I'm dribbling that way. Might be time to wipe off the bottom of my shovel. I want to pop that bubble. Actually, I have a few I want to pop without making any major impact, hopefully. So I do have a Princeton Artful Catalyst spatula, and I want to take some of this paint right now. And use it in a way I haven't done before. That's just picking it up and putting it down. And that's kind of interesting. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Hopefully I'm not blocking. If I'm blocking you, I'm so sorry. I have to remember not to lean forward too far. So this is looking like it's got a little bit of a jungle theme going on. I'm just cleaning out my shovel because I know I'm going to have to wipe off the bottom, so why waste the paint that's in it? And it does look like there's plenty there. And like I said, I don't usually overlap my designs, but this time I feel like I should try something a little different. And depending on if I wet my studio rag, which I did not, time to grab that. Put this down for a second. That way I have some way to wipe off my shovel base. I've got something flying in my studio. So I'm going to wipe that shovel right off. And maybe it's time to grab one of the smaller scoops. This one particularly. And I am never beyond adding dots. I'll grab a little bit more. Lay it right on the top of that. I'm very close to thinking about stopping and just doing another one with my leftover paint. Paint is kind of thick, so it's important to take a second to let it start to slide out. And you can manipulate it to a point. I kind of like those. Those are cute. Maybe I'll move it around to the other side. I'm not having as hard a time with the color pan as I was expecting I might, with the exception of things dripping. It's really different and I'm kind of liking it a lot. I'm going to move some of that right down to the edge. Oh, I got color on. Oh well, it's the nature of the beast. Sometimes you got to tip your tool up to help the paint in the scoop release from the scoop. And pop that bubble. Come on. I'm not 100% sure they're bubbles all the time, so got to be ready to use my tweezers. Just putting stuff wherever I feel like it. Little flower forms or whatever you have interest in calling them. Let's grab some more. And do a little dribble. It doesn't have a right way up. That's the only complaint I might have. And I'm going to put that down and go back to my shovel and turn my paint around, my pan around, hopefully, without dropping any chips into it, please. All right. It's so different, which is making it pretty interesting. I'm not talking all the way through, I'm sure I'm... Oh, I just dropped a load of paint. Fortunately, most of it went right into my pan. It's kind of amazing the shapes that you can make, even with a square front. Maybe especially with a square front. I'm not sure I should fill in the whole canvas with this because I'm kind of liking the negative space. So I could be done in a minute, except for that. Except for I do like to dribble occasionally, which is just basically filling whatever tool you're using or dribbling by accident like I just did there. I want some more green. Liking all of that. Feeling like I want something else over here. And let all that paint just slide right off the shovel. I do use GAC 800 by Golden in all of my paint mixes. My paint pouring recipe are below Show More. If you need a recipe, if it's not included underneath the video, just ask me. I'm happy I've got them all saved and ready to go. I also have 30 playlists. I don't want that there. "30 playlists that you can watch, and they've each got 100 on them, 100 videos. And I also have them organized by topic and genre. These are some wild colors, and I'm really liking this. I want some red right over here down in this corner, I think. Let's tip my shovel and see if I can get it to do what I want. Yeah, that's alright. That worked kinda. Now the only thing I haven't done that I talked about doing is adding dots. And for that, you don't need a whole lot of anything except for the colors that you've already got. I'm using the corner of my Princeton Art Tool Catalyst spatula, which you can find on my Amazon link, along with my 2 books, Because I Can and Unlimited Possibilities. But I think I prefer, especially after that, finding a skewer. It also, if you have had any little incidents where you have dropped some color, this is a great form of camouflage for that also. It's been a while. I get so enamored of doing these, I just want to do a whole bunch of them, and that makes me feel like I shouldn't do any for a while. Just picking and choosing. I'm glad I left some negative space. It could be construed as maybe a little unbalanced, but I don't really think so. I'm not sure how much further I want to go with the dots. Sometimes I'm inclined to add the odd spiral. I could pick and choose my colors, like in, you know, some white or some Chantilly lace. And I'm going to have some paint to clean up. But I think I'm going to grab that Chantilly lace right out of the pan of colors, because I like the idea. You got to start, if you want to graduate them, you need a fat dot to begin with. That's pretty good. I want some orange. Alright, I've got 3 minutes. I've told you a lot of things, but I would love it if you would give me a thumbs up. That would be terrific. And your comments keep my morale boosted. And I was posting 5 days a week, but it seemed to have a very bad effect on my channel's performance. And I'm having a hard time covering the cost of art supplies. Which reminds me, if you decide you'd like to be somebody who can help donate to keep the studio rolling, the PayPal icon is on the bottom right hand corner of my YouTube channel banner. And there's a membership also for $9.99 a month with over 150 members only videos. I'm loving the dots. I'm having way too much fun officially right now. I'm wondering if I want some gold. And do I have any? I do have some. Cool. I never mind that the dots have other colors in them. It just adds something unique to the composition. I didn't use any saffron, and I kind of wish I had. But I guess the Orange Crush is going to have to do. Or that Miami Magenta. That'll work. And I'm not seeing very much blue, but I've still got Cerulaen blue right there. And Royal Sapphire right there. And a little more jasmine right there. And I think I might be very close to being done. I don't promise not to keep dotting. I'm going to grab some more cerulean blue. But I do feel like I'm pretty well done. You've got to lift your skewer. And I do keep skewers with little paintballs on the end, which is just the dried residual. I want some more right there. But you've got to lift that skewer or you're going to wind up with a little tail. I'm not done. I'm sorry. Well, evidently I've got a minute. But I've got to say, look on my link tree from my Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter links, Facebook group, Expressionist Fluid Art Studio Appreciation Group. My Amazon link has my 2 books on it because I can in Unlimited Possibilities. I love you guys. I hope you come again. I could really use some help. If you share my videos, you help me out, and I really, really, really appreciate that right now. I'm going to quick like a bunny try and shimmer this at you. It's pretty wild, and I'm loving it. And hopefully, I'm in a good position. I'm going to go around my edges and see what's dripping down, and maybe I want to cover stuff. Oh, that's fun.